Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just nervous. Hi. I had this YouTube channel a while back and I made videos about acting, how to act, the different types of acting, all these different things, and it got no views. So it's okay. It's okay. Really, it is. I just started it back again because I feel like for when I got my first role, and I really had a really great time, and I feel like all the things that I had been working up for my entire life is finally aligning. And so, if anything, if this channel doesn't blow up and I'm not some big giant YouTuber, that's fine. But I want to at least document my moments growing as an actor. And I also want to inspire other people who may be trying to act, maybe feeling a little bit discouraged, all the stuff. So if you're one of those people and you haven't gotten a role and you've been trying forever and this, that, and the third, come to me. It's okay. This was my first role. I was very nervous, but it went absolutely perfectly. And here's a little story time on why and how my first acting role went. Okay, so to start out, I, throughout the process, wanted to document everything. So I have like YouTube or little short clip videos. I'll put it on this video of me like getting ready in the at night, and I had like the face mask because I wanted my skin to be good. I didn't do homework that night because I didn't want to be stressed. But I did do it. I don't know if I did it after or before, but I did it. I don't know why that's relevant. But yeah, I have those videos, and then I have the ones where I am in the car on the way there, and I have the BTS videos, the behind the scenes. Yeah, BTS. So yeah, I have all of those, and I saved them because I wanted to make one of those get ready with me TikToks, but I got nervous that it was gonna make no views except for the people at my school, and so they were gonna see it and then see that there was no views and be like, dang, that's kind of embarrassing.
Yo, Carlos declined. Embarrassing. Carlos.
So, I didn't post that, but I'll put it here because why not? You only live once. And yeah. So here is the backstory. So to start out, when I got the role. When I got the role, I was completely surprised. I had gotten roles before, but my friend is calling me.
Nobody cares.
I had gotten roles before, but I never got one, and it actually stuck, and it wasn't a scam. I'm going to talk about that later on here because apparently people love to scam, and you never know until the very end. So I'll make a video on that later. But anyways, I got the role and I was excited, and I told my mom, and I made sure I had all the information because my mom doesn't want to know anything unless I have all the information. So I got it all and I told her, and it was good. And I was excited. I was really excited. So yeah. So all was great, and I had been communicating with the director. She also gave me the co-star's contact and stuff because he was great. He was really great, but I think that she was really smart to do that because I don't know how they usually do it, but having contact with him made it less awkward. Because I didn't even explain how the film went. I'm sorry. Okay, how it goes is this girl, Tatiana, and her project partner, they are at school late at night finishing a project for their like film class, and she is kind of like off put by him because he keeps trying to make passes at her. And so she's like, no hard pass. And he's like, okay, well, I guess I'm just gonna leave then. And she's like, good. And he leaves. But he waits for her. So when she's done finishing up all the project stuff, then she's getting ready, like, you know, she's leaving, picking up her bag, walking through the hall. And it's very Lifetime. That's what I love. Like, side note, when I was doing it, I was kind of scared because I was walking down like a creepy hallway. You'll see it too. But yeah, I was walking down this creepy hallway and I was so scared because he low-key is a very good actor. Like, he's one of those people that would actually be in one of those scary movies.
Come on, Tatiana, let's make something unforgettable.
Okay.
So, anyways, I was doing all that, and then it gets to a point, and he comes and he confronts her. He's like, hey, I didn't leave. I'm gonna give you one more chance to say yes to me. And then she's like, no. And then he's like, okay. So then he kills her. So, yeah, that's how I die. But it's a really good storyline. Okay, back to the real story. Sorry. Yeah, we're in great contact with each other. And fast forward to, I'd say, the day before. I remember I was picking up my clothes to go on set because she said, you know, just find clothes yourself. And I'm like, okay, well, based off of what I know on the character, I'm gonna do something very innocent, you know, very soft. She's just an innocent girl doing her work, and then all of a sudden she gets killed. Like, that's not her fault. We're gonna show not faultness in the outfit. So I sent her a couple outfit options. She said she wanted some color, so I gave her some color too. And yeah. Yeah. Okay, fast forward to the day before and the day. End of the day before to the day. So during that time, I'm making little videos, as I said before. And I'm getting ready. I'm super nervous. And the whole time, like, I had told people that I was going to do this role. Like, people knew. They knew. It wasn't that many. It was just a handful of my friends. I didn't want to tell too many people, and then I post it and it not be a surprise. So I told my mom. I told the people in my house, my mom, my grandparents, my sister. She's the one who helped me get the role, so of course. And yeah, like 2 of my friends. But when the day came, they were so casual, and it's not like I'm not talking about anything, but I think they were so casual that amplified my nerves, because it's like, imagine you're a basketball player and you're about to go play at the championship game, and you're so nervous and you've been working for this for years, and everybody's like, oh, okay, great, well, go wash the dishes. Like, okay. So I think that I was just overwhelmed, and I didn't have an outlet. And one of the things that happens when I'm very excited or overwhelmed or trying to lock in on something is I get really quiet. So I think that my friend thought that I was mad at her because I wasn't doing stuff and all that, and I was just like, oh no, I'm not mad, I'm just trying to lock in because the role I told you about, that. So she's like, oh, okay. So yeah, I keep losing my train of thought. I'm sorry. Hold on. Okay, great. So, Jesus. So fast forward, driving to set, get to set, the director, Maddie, she came down. My mom dropped me off. So she came down and she spoke to my mom really quick. and we came in, we started doing work like immediately. I sat down at this table with a computer, so I'm sitting down like this, and I'm like, they're like, okay, just be straight face, like really focus. I'm like, okay, so I'm doing that, and then Omar. I was thinking about putting his character name, but he's an actor. He's great. You should, find him, do what you got to do. His name is Omar. He sat behind me, and he was playing his character. I need to think of the name of the character, but he was playing him. So he's doing that, and he is kind of looking creepy behind me. So the camera's like right here, and I'm facing right here, so it's doing it over the shoulder, so it's looking at him and me. It's like my side profile, and it was really cool. I loved having the camera at me, and it's crazy because if you ever see me when I went to NAACP Gala, it was a professional camera. It was in my face right here, so I knew I had like some educational advocacy. Inspired by Shirley Chisholm's, I hope I pronounced it okay. Powerful belief. Like when it's professional, it's better. But when a friend is like, oh, pose, I'm like, I don't know what to do. But it was great. Like having the best part about being on set, I think, has to be being around a community of people who are all working, and doing the work that they love. Another side note, I worked at a bank. Yeah. So that was an experience, and it was an interesting experience because I absolutely hated it. I think desk jobs are not my thing. I commend people who can, because I had a community there who they actually enjoyed what they're doing, and I sometimes fell asleep in my chair. So it was an experience. But that's the thing though, doing something that you love, when you sit down and you're typing away or you're hacking away or doing whatever it is that you do, you're happy and you can sit there and do it forever. So having that professional camera in my face was something that I could literally do forever. So we're there, and it's great. It's going really, really great. The first half of the time that we spent, I actually didn't. One of the things I would say to you, fellow actors, or anybody who's just curious, when you're shooting a shot, it could be something as simple as because that shot would have ran about like 30 seconds if you watched it on screen, or a minute. We sat there for about 3 hours, and we were doing the same shot over and over again. I read that same script so many times, because aside from the mess ups, like you mess up 5-6 times, okay, whatever, they are still doing the shots where it's over the shoulder, one directly in my face, one directly in his face. So I'm like reading it, but I'm not on screen, so it doesn't matter how I do it or how I say it, or like what I do, because they don't see me. One where it's like side profile, so I'm talking like this, and another one where it's like that, and then there's a point where I turn around, so I'm facing him. So we have to put the camera, you see, like all the different side things, and then the director, if you get a good director, they're gonna want to make sure the shot is right. So Maddie, she would come and she'd be like, yeah, let's try that a little bit more aggressive. I'm a soft speaker, so she was like, well, first she asked if the boom operator, forgot his name, but he was great. The whole team was great. We're gonna talk about them in a minute. But she asked the boom operator to come closer so that way you can catch my voice. She was like, okay, you're a soft speaker, that's fine. Just say it like more sarcastic, more frustrated, less I forget how I was doing it, but I was more so like like, get out of my face. She's like, get out of my face, like that, kind of like a serious. And I was like, okay, so I did it. Sorry, that was my cats. And yeah, she was like, that's great. Let's move on. So we move on, and actually, before we move on, she had ordered a pizza. Another great thing. When you have your breaks, it's heaven. It for some reason the food tastes better. The environment, it's like you're on a lunch break at work. You know, lunch was always my favorite time at the bank. Because I used to walk down to the Super Duper, or the Chipotle or the Subway. It was just nice. It's nice to know that you're in a work setting doing regular things. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, she ordered a pizza. It was great. We got to get to know each other, the cast and the cast. It was me and him. The cast and then the crew. So that was great. And then we move on to the hallway scene. Jesus, that was so scary. I don't even think I was scared of the environment. It's not like I was the only one walking down. Like the camera was in my face right here. This was the best part actually, because I've always seen, I watch behind the scenes for the movies that I really love. And one of the behind the scenes movies that I watch is Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad, because I've always wanted to do like a blockbuster movie. So the camera guy is in my face right here, and he squat down. I really watch how they do it. It's amazing. He had to squat down, and he had to move backwards in a steady way, so that way while I'm moving forward, he's walking backwards trying to catch me, but also keep the camera steady. And then he had a spotter behind him who was holding him while he's going. It was great. I don't know. I don't know. I was like, I never noticed the different lenses and the way that they need to move the camera so specifically. So that they don't show the lights that need to hit you to make it look like it's night or daytime. All the different light blockers, you know, the black and the white things that they put to keep your skin tone a certain way. There's so much stuff. It actually is. And then you have to make sure you catch the shot right. And then you have to make sure when you do another take in a different direction, everything is the same. We almost did another take of the same scene, just in a different way. So we repositioned the camera. And we did the first one. And then one of the crew was like, wasn't he holding a book? And it was great. It was like, wow. When people point out those little mistakes in movies, I felt like I was a part of that process on the opposite end. Like it was great. But anyways, yes, okay. So I'm moving down the hallway, and she wanted me to be on my phone. So I'm just holding my phone. I have to be casual, so I'm just being casual walking down. And she came up with the idea while we were filming, because she thought it would flow better if, like, I'm texting my mom, and she had me turn my phone all the way up. So I'm texting on my phone, and then I get a phone call from my mom, and she was the one who actually called me. She called me and she's talking. So then that way I can respond in a natural way. She was so great. Like, she was my first director, but I feel like she's one of those directors that people actually talk about in a professional manner. Maddie, I'm gonna drop her name really big, because she actually wants to be an actress as well. So Maddie, you're great. But yeah, so we did that, and we get to the end of the hallway. We did that walk a couple times, not that many, but you know, a couple times. And we get to the elevator. The elevator is when things changed. It was insane to watch this process unfold with people running it. So Maddie, she had a vision for how it went, and I read the script in the way that it was supposed to go. And we came in fully prepared to do it that way, but she allowed the creative process to flow, and we get to the hallway. And the original version was for me to walk down the hallway, and then He comes over to me, and we have an exchange. He's just talking to me, and he's kind of being weird. So I dismiss him, and I walk into the bathroom. When I walk into the bathroom, he walks in after me, and I'm scared, and I'm surprised. I'm like, what the heck? And then he comes and he kills me. So that was the original way. And we had the script prepared for it and all. So I'm ready for that. But she's like, let's take a minute. So she does, and she's talking with the crew. And they actually rearrange the whole thing. And the way she rearranged it was, I get to the elevator. They do a really cool shot where the elevator light like dings on, and I'm standing there. I wait to go in, and as the doors open, I almost step in, and then he grabs my arm, and he pulls me back and turns me around, and he's like, something, something, something. I'm like, something? And then he's like, something. And then he takes me, and he flips me around again, and he drags me backwards. And while he's dragging me backwards, he's like, the bathroom door would be behind us as he's dragging me, and he pulls me into the bathroom. And so we do this amazing shot. I consider it a stunt because listen. Look like I'm sorry to risk the camera.
Sin City wasn't made for you.
Listen. Wait. My dream role for anything is to, 1, have it be a blockbuster, and for 2, within that same realm, it needs to have stunts. Okay, I want to go for months on end, needing to wake up early to go into a studio space or a gym, and I'm doing like cardio work and training and choreography for fight scenes. I want to be rigged up to wires. That's the thing. Wires, okay? If anybody is listening, I want to be hooked up to wires, and I want to fly, or I want to fall. Okay, I want to be in the air. And I don't want gravity to take the wheel. I want somebody to be controlling a mechanism that lifts me and makes me fall. Like La La Land, Wicked as of recent. I've cried, yes. Blinking. The Suicide Squad, I watch it all the time. The Greatest Showman, when Zendaya was doing all those acrobatic stuff, that didn't come out of nowhere. She had to learn it. Like, that's good stuff. I love that stuff. Okay, enough of the side notes. I'm sorry. So anyways, they blessed me with my first stunt. You can leave a comment. Let me know if you think it's a stunt or not. But I would consider it to be so because for one, multiple takes of him just grabbing my arm and flipping me. That hurt. Okay, he's a man. I'm a little small. So that kind of hurt. And he, at one point, I remember he grabbed my arm and he yanked it kind of hard. And I flew into the trash can next to the elevator. And it was like this big metal one. So I flew into it because he, kind of pushed me. And I knock it over. And I'm laying on top of the trash can. And then she doesn't even yell cut. Everybody's like, oh my God, Brie, oh my God. And I remember the whole entire community just ran over and like lift me up. Brie, are you okay? And I'm just sitting there like this. Because that was so embarrassing. I didn't even hurt. It was just embarrassing. But anyways, it was okay because it was pretty funny. But yeah, so that happens. And the shots where we're practicing him flipping me and pulling me back, I have to like kind of fight him. So as he's dragging me, I'm not just walking backwards. That was actually my first time making a note and making a suggestion and asking a question because I was nervous I'd be like interfering with her process. And since it's my first time, I didn't want to intrude. But she took it well. She was like, yeah, you're right. Let's do that. Because how he originally did it was I'm standing there, he grabs me, and I'm walking backwards with him. And I'm fighting. I don't want to go, but it felt like I was just like willingly, okay, well, he's kidnapping me. And so I made the note, I was like, can he be more aggressive? You know, can he grab me and really like pull me hard? Because I feel like the more realistic things are in the moment, the more realistic the response will be, the more authentic it will look on camera. So I was like, and I told him because he was nervous after he hurt me. I was like, it's okay. Just the next time we do a shot, be as aggressive as you can. Like, actually. And he was like, okay, but let me know. I was like, just do it. It's okay. So he's pulling me backwards, and this is where we got the best shot. And it looks, I cringe watching it back, but I was like, that's good. You know, if I watched it with somebody else, I'd think that was good. He's pulling me backwards. My body is dragging on the ground, and I'm kicking my feet, and I'm elbowing him in the stomach, and I'm actually trying to fight for my life. And I kick a shoe off, and so when I'm dragged through the door, there's like my shoe, and it's just sitting there in front of the door, and it wobbles, and it lands straight up. I felt like that was such a perfect thing. It was so perfect. So yeah, that was my little stunt, you know.
Roll camera.
Camera speed.
Final cut, scene 10, take 3.
Action.
You know, fear looks differently up close.
So anyways, after I do my excruciating stunt work, really over exert myself with talent, then then we go on to the bathroom scene, and that changed too. So since he already dragged me, there is no, oh surprise, I just walked in the bathroom with you. So the way we decided to do it was one of the crew had Ray-Ban glasses, and it had the camera in it, and I never realized how cool it was till I saw it in person. But the Ray-Bans, they record like random stuff. That's how we got most of our behind the scenes action. So I would actually suggest, if you guys are making a film, if you are part of a film, get Ray-Ban glasses. Okay, I'm not being sponsored, but I feel like they're really great. You just gotta press the button and you're recording all these behind the scenes. Like, as you're looking around, it's recording what you see. That's cool. So anyways. So anywho, in the bathroom, he thinks it's a good idea to have the Ray-Ban glasses on. I'm laid on the floor, and while I'm laid on the floor, the guy's on top of me. And so the Ray-Bans are recording him on top of me while he's choking me out. And I thought that was a really good idea. But he decided to do it. And this is what I mean, because I'm getting to the crew now. That's how the film ended. I thought it was really great. But what I loved about it all was how, first of all, there was never a scene, especially when I started getting physical, where I'm actually being touched. And to preface, I'm not usually one to be touched, you know. But I did it, and I think it's one of those things where when I'm at work, I'll allow it. But yeah, there was never a time where something happened or I was touched or there was a scene where I had to cuss, whatever, and I wasn't asked, are you comfortable with this? Like this, not. There was never a time where I was not asked if I was comfortable or not comfortable. And I thought that was really cool because I felt very acknowledged and very present. I didn't feel like one of those little mannequins where it's like, okay, let's put this, that, and that on it. And then it has no opinion because it's a mannequin now. It just has to wear, do whatever it says. So yeah, that was really amazing of them. And another thing is that she was the only female on the set, the director. That's it. And so there's a crew of all men. My co-star is a man. Me and her are the only females on set. And at first, I was intimidated because I'm young, I'm small, and I'm surrounded by men and an older director. So I'm kind of vulnerable, but they made me feel like a little sister and like a daughter, because they're all a little older too, like in their, I'd say, average 30s. So like that's where they all look like they averaged. But that's another thing. They were all black and Latin. I don't know how old they were. They could have all been 60. And I'm not saying that is, whatever. But I'm saying I had never took into consideration racial or ethnic backgrounds when I become an actor. I never thought, when I'm on set, I want it to be an all black cast. I don't want anybody else scrounging around there. Like I never thought about it because I just wanted to act, but having that community of people who look like me, and I'm Afro-Latina, so I can say fully it was just a whole bunch of people who shared my background, and it was great. I felt like we had this unspoken chemistry and communication that happened where if they could sense a scene could possibly be uncomfortable, they wanted to take the reins. Which leads me into when we did the scene where I'm laid there getting choked, wearing the glasses to capture his facial expressions while he's choking me. The crew member who had the glasses, he volunteered to do it himself. And he gave me the glasses at first, and the Maddie, she comes and she's like, okay, let's lay this out here, like a little blanket, so then that way I'm not laying on the bathroom floor. And he's like, okay, let's do this, that, and that. And then I put it on, and I'm like, okay, lay here. And I don't know if he caught a vibe that maybe I would have been uncomfortable. I was fine with it, but I think he was just very aware of where I was and where they were. So he was like, yeah, actually, let me see them real quick. And then he's acting like he's about to do a demonstration. And then Maddie's like, okay, action. And so they do it, and then he's like, okay, that's great. Like, he did the scene for me. And at first, I feel like naturally somebody would have been like, I was supposed to do that or something. I don't know. I appreciated it because it was much less about what I was supposed to do and much less about whether or not I wanted the workload of needing to act more and flare around and do all that stuff. It was the thought. I would love for every experience I have going forward to have a cast and crew like that. So, yeah.
I said, did Simba or Arlo poop on the blanket?
No. So yeah, to any of you who want to be an actor or who has never had their first time on set, I would say good luck because it's hard. I got rejected 182 times. I counted. I made sure to count because I made sure to appreciate every rejection so I can get to where I want to be. And I got rejected 182 times before I got my yes. Okay? It's a lot of times. And you can lose faith within that time frame. It's understandable. But don't stop if you know it's your dream, if you know it's your journey, and if you know you can't see yourself doing anything else and you won't do anything else. Then do it. Why did I sound so mean? Sorry. But yeah, have faith in yourself. And when you get to your first role, embrace every moment. Okay? I made little snippet videos so I can remember every moment leading up to, from the moment I wake up to the moment I get there. Do what you have to do. And yeah, I want to start this video thing up again because I feel like I really want to document my journey. I want to one day look back when I'm big. Yeah, we're gonna aim high. When I'm big and I'm up there, maybe I'm doing an interview and I'm actually reviewing this video, my first video on my first role. Hi, future me. And I'm just looking back and I'm loving what I see, you know? I want to remember all of it. So anyways, remember it all, document it all, and you've got this, okay? Everybody's gonna tell you you don't got this. Everybody is gonna tell you that you are definitely gonna fail. And you definitely will if you listen to them. But you won't listen to them because you do got this. Okay? I'll see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye.